Welcome back to On Air with Dr. Pete. I'm your host, Dr. Pete Economo, and today the producer's here.
Hi, everyone.
And we're already just laughing, and I just told her we just have to click record because why, Leigh? Why do we have to click record?
Because we're a little, technologically challenged here, and sometimes we go live, sometimes we record, sometimes we have no audio, sometimes, we're just rolling with it today because we just wanted to come live today.
What did you say before? We're just doing whatever we could do?
We're doing the best that we can.
We're doing the best we can. That's like,
Don't you feel that we're doing the best that we can every single day?
No, because because in the world of performance, the best is never good enough, actually.
Listen, these days I'm taking the best that I can do.
That sounded like a mother thing to say. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that or not, but I just said it, so it's fine.
I'm a mother, so I can say that I'm going to do the best that I can do.
And you're doing a great job. I'm reading all these other things here. So Riverside.fm, live with Peter Economo, and then some other thing. There's three other. Do you have those links on your side? Like, is there like a right side panel or no?
Well, now I'm the guest and not the producer, so I have zero control. You are in the driver's seat today.
I don't want to be in the driver. I present as if I want to be. Everyone around me thinks I want to be in the driver's seat, and it's the last seat I want to be in.
I know the true you, but I also am the producer, so I like to be behind the scenes. I don't want to be on camera.
This was our idea. This was our idea last night, wasn't it?
Well, yes, because we needed something to air today. We had 3 guests that were recording today. You had a very busy day for the show, but we had nothing to actually air. So hopefully this is coming to you live on Halloween.
Well, hopefully we'll see how that goes. But here's the thing. You're the producer, Leigh Castelli, and we've known each other for how long?
Well, we can date ourselves right now, really.
We can. Let's.
Because we have been best friends for 40 years.
So we're going to let you guys peek behind the curtain a little bit as to how this all came about. So I was talking to Leigh, and so Leigh, I could do your PR, but so your initial career, so you were producer at Harpo. Is that where you first started after school?
No, remember,
who was first? Banyan.
I was at Banyan in Philly with a wedding story and a makeover story.
And then to Harpo. Oh, I knew that. When I was saying Harpo, I was saying Banyan in my head. Yeah.
Yes, Banyan first.
Yeah, Banyan first for how many years?
3.
And West Virginia University for school.
Oh gosh, for 1 year. Come on.
But you went there.
Bring it up. The Mountaineers. Minus my dearest friends, Amy and Frank and Lauren. Like, do we have to bring up the Mountaineers?
But by the way, you would have had those friends if it weren't for West Virginia.
Correct.
Yeah. So just for the record, it was a freehold contingency that went to West Virginia.
That's true.
My least favorite school.
Yeah. So only for a short while. And then I wound up at Westchester in Pennsylvania, which is how I got to Banyan in Philly.
And then, seriously, producer? Shut that off.
It was for you. You just called me right before we started.
What was that ding? That was a text message.
Yes, it was a text because I had the phone on when you called me.
Oh, don't blame that on me.
All right. Well, here we are.
All right. And then go to Harpo. How many? 12 years? 14? 15? How many?
No, it was 10 years total. I was at Harpo for 7 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was at 7 years, working with the best in the biz, which, I absolutely loved. The chaos of television and everything that I learned there. And it was like the, best time of my life. But
I won't ask you your least favorite guest, but I'll ask you your favorite guest.
That's not fair.
I
loved them all.
Okay.
I loved them all. But
I would say
one of my very most favorite guests would be Paul Simon.
But that's just because of your family, though.
No, I just love Paul Simon.
Who's your second favorite?
And he was so great. And he did the lyrics for our last season. He was amazing.
Yeah. Who's your second favorite then?
But I had a lot of favorite guests. I mean, I just loved working on that show, and it was a huge part of my life.
So listeners need to know. And one of the things that Leigh did was like one of her last, I don't know if this was her last, but when Oprah and Gail drove across country, Leigh was one of the producers on that project. Was that the last season?
I was actually a production assistant on that time because it was my early portion of my career. So that was in 2006. And I did make that track from California to New York with my awesome team.
Yeah.
Jack and Brian and Ray and Alex, we were, all in the car together, and we just had the best time. We made it from California to New York, but that was in 2006 before I actually.
You were a PA then.
I was a PA then. So I got to book the hotels and get the food and run around and do all the fun things, but I loved every second of it.
So you accept me and all of my flaws because we've known each other for 40 years, which means.
You mean your memory?
Exactly. You know that.
Or lack thereof.
Oh, I always get in the ballpark. I get
somewhere in there.
I get somewhere around.
Somewhere in there. It was the early part of my career there. So I was a PA at that time.
And then I was a plus one. We won't go into the details of that, but I got to go to Hawaii with Oprah, like as a thank you for one of this. Was that a special season?
No, that was just an amazing thing that she did for the staff, which she was kind of always doing for us. So it was
She
really
always
just an
did great stuff.
incredible, incredible time of my
Yeah.
life. It was absolute chaos to be there, but
Yeah.
she treated us really, really
She
well.
flew like, was it 4 planes? This is my memory. I think she
Yeah,
chartered
I
four
don't remember
planes.
exactly how many planes because we had a travel department that did everything,
Yeah.
but it was the whole staff and we just had the best time.
Well, whole
And
staff, and if you're married, it was your whole family, and
it
if
was
you
your whole
weren't
family.
married, it was a
Yeah.
plus one. And so
Yeah.
I was a plus one, not your plus
Yes.
one. I was a plus
Well,
one,
you
and
weren't my plus one, but you were there, thank God, because
I
I love having you every step of the way in my life.
we had
We've been
fun.
through lots of things together, but
We've
that was
been
just
through
one of the
lots.
very fun things that we got to do together.
So then this whole podcast thing happens, and Leigh watches my career from the, like whatever this is from the back, and I'm like, hey, and so amazing like photography career. You have to check out her socials, like really beautiful pictures to
Thank
the
you.
point where I flew her out to come do my brother's wedding. Because A, it would be special to have her there, but B, like she just does such amazing pictures, and still to this day, my
You're very
sister-in-law
sweet.
talks about those pictures.
That's my
And
full-time job. That's my
yes,
number one,
no, your number
job.
one job is a mother. That is a real
Well, of
that's the
course.
hardest job.
That is the hardest job, but I
Yeah.
do have 2 high schoolers now, so it has
Yes.
allowed me to kind of flourish my career,
Yes.
and photography has always been my passion. So once we
Always.
left Chicago and we moved to California, obviously
Yeah.
we're, thousands of miles apart.
Right.
I
We
was
are.
able to do that, and working for you was just an added bonus
Well,
because I
that's
just
we didn't get there yet, but so yeah, the working for me part is stupid because so she has this production background. She has very artistic eye. Because even in like sixth and seventh grade, we grew up. We're old, and so there weren't like smartphones or the cameras in the way that they were. But Leigh always had a camera in her hand, like,
always.
and thank goodness they didn't have the technology that we have today. Because we would have you have boxes of pictures, but could you imagine some of the stuff that we did that would
Well, it
be
wasn't online, thank God. It
thank
wasn't online.
goodness.
So
Yeah.
I have hard drives and boxes of pictures and yearbooks, and you and
Yeah.
I we were on the decorating committee together, if you remember, because
And
we
the
did get
safety patrol.
K through
And the
8
safety and the
and the safety patrol. So yeah, I always loved documenting everything, and I
you
was
did.
always the one with the camera in my hand. So it is
Always.
perfectly fitting that I wound up doing this for my full-time career. But
Yeah.
when we were growing up, luckily it wasn't on social media, but I can
Oh my
surely
goodness, thank
share a
God.
few photos in the show notes.
Well, I'm not even mad at them. I don't care. Look, I have so many awkward stages and I'm proud of each one
Well,
of
we
them.
all did. I mean, that's part of growing up, right?
It is part of growing up.
That's
But
part of
kids
growing
don't know
up.
how to be awkward anymore. Like
They
just be
don't.
awkward.
Our
Who
kids have totally
cares?
skipped the awkward stage.
Yeah, it's so weird.
But luckily, we do have photos from back then.
So I had the When East Meets West podcast,
Mhm.
and I had like this person that I was just like freelancing to do some kind of PR stuff, and I like called Leigh and I was like, hey, and I was just talking her through this like process, and she like started to like go down this dive, and she's like, what are you doing? Like, who are you paying? What is this? Like, this article's stupid, and she
I
just,
never said that.
well,
I will always tell you very honestly
well,
how
yeah.
things
So that's what I'm
happen
saying.
because
Like,
we have that friendship. That's our
of
connection. You're my,
course,
just
yeah.
my
There's
lifelong
no, yeah,
one of my
yeah,
dearest friends. So
yeah.
of
Well,
course, very honest.
the number
I would
one.
not say it's stupid.
Well, I did. You said something like a little bit more political, and I was like, yeah, I know. Like I just well, because you just talk like sometimes you just talk around it. Like you would be very direct, but you try to be too nice. And I think that's the California in you now. We're
Gosh,
not like
I've
that in
never heard
Jersey.
that I'm ever too nice. I feel like my whole life I have heard the quite, direct opposite of that.
No, your girlfriends in California absolutely will call you nice. Now your sister and your mother might call you differently, but we're not talking about them.
We're not going to get into family drama today. You are family, so you know all of it.
We're not going into that. So then I was, we're looking through some of the stuff, and I in my head I was like, I'm gonna give this guy 12 months. I don't know where. I just pulled the arbitrary number, like
Mhm.
12 months. What can he like do? And it was nothing. Just from whatever. Like honestly, I'm not mad at saying that because I think it was a couple articles and things here and there, but it was also like I had to do all the work. It would be like, here's an article, but answer these questions, which I was like, I don't have time to do that because I'm
Yeah,
writing papers, I'm doing research, I'm running
right.
a practice. Like, and Leigh understood that. And so she was like, I'll just do this for you. And I was like, no, like, look, I'm paying this guy. I might as well just pay you. And it's not a lot of money for the record. I will say that. I'm the first one to say that. I'll say that.
I
It is,
also did not want to accept any
she
money
did
from
not
you
want to
because you
accept
aren't
it.
my best friend.
Correct. But I took the amount of money I was paying him and just gave it to you instead of him,
Yes,
which again,
which is very nice.
it's just silly, but it's because it's not enough still to this day. And
It would
then
work for you for free, and you know this.
that's beautiful. And so then that's when On Air with Dr. Pete came out because
And that was June 2024. So it has been over a year now that
Get
we've been
Out.
collaborating
Did
together.
you remember
And
that or
this is
did you look that
actually
up?
our 51st episode.
We have 51 episodes?
Yes, we do. Well, minus the ones that you recorded today. So
Who
we'll count those later.
Yeah, who cares? No, that's
Yeah.
really amazing. All right, I had no idea. So yeah, so when we're like, because I don't know what PR is anymore in a way, right? Like back in the day, PR was like you'd go, I don't even know what you would do, like a branding something. You'd go on
Mhm.
a talk show. I mean, I'm not going on, you know, and because of your connections, we were like, let's just try this, and then all of a sudden we just did this podcast. And so I wanted to say this because you are a producer at heart. You know, you're a producer in your brain.
Mhm.
And what I've seen is like you had to learn all of this. Like you produce TV, but you've never produced podcast.
Well, podcast production is a completely different thing. The
Right.
idea is still there that you have to, think of show topics and find guests and interview people and come up with great content. So that is all the same as, production in television or any other medium.
Right.
Podcast production is different. We've had some ups and downs with it. We're
We
we're
sure
still
have.
we're still kind of learning as we go, and I think that that's the fun is that we have that relationship where it's not like you did something terrible, you're fired. We're working together, and it's a new challenge every day, but it's been
Yeah, it's a new challenge, and every guest that's been on has always said how amazing Leigh is, and so if you were a guest, you know that you got to meet her because Leigh screens every guest. So she finds guests, she screens guests, and that's all this like old school production in her.
part of production that I always loved, and I always loved working behind the scenes. And I feel like for you, because you are so busy, like we're all busy, but
Yes,
you're another level of busy. It requires a lot of time. So there's no way that you would be able to. I know
never.
you communicate with a lot of our guests, which is
Yeah,
amazing, and they all love you and you have that relationship with them. But it's really, it's a different thing to have to kind of book the guests and find them and then figure out what we're going to discuss on the show because conversations take different turns and we
right.
always have something in mind. And I feel like with the show we've done really good having a variety of guests
We
on and
have, yeah,
talking about different inspirational topics and ways to motivate and stay mindful and everything that we love to promote on the show, but it's not
yeah.
always that easy to find in a guest that can speak quickly in a 20 to 25-minute period for a
Yeah,
podcast. And so it sometimes has its challenges, but it's also been great. And we've met some really amazing
we
people.
really
And I feel
have.
like we've worked really hard
And
to.
by we, you mean you, just for the
I'm
record.
still going to say we because it is your show.
I will
It
be
is on air with Dr. Pete. It's
I
not on
will.
air with Leigh.
Well, it should be, but I will be the first to say that there's no we in any of the research, and so that's the shout out just to production. I mean, it's
You're very
so
sweet.
important to
Thank you.
what goes into. And by the way, like when you listen, just for listeners, when you listen to the real podcast, because this is a fake podcast, that I mean, there's like 10 people that are involved in it. Like, because they'll usually like I was just listening to. Oh, I didn't talk to you about this. Have you listened? Monica Lewinsky has a podcast called Reclaiming.
Oh, yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and at the end of it, you know, Miley Cyrus and Cindy
Oh, yeah.
Crawford and all
Oh,
these.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
obviously,
that's connection. So you're
it's
going to have all of that.
a
But yes,
hundred
they have a
percent
full team.
a
They have a
full
full team.
team. Yes,
Any of the amazing podcasts that you see or you watch or you listen or you follow, that
yeah.
they have a full team behind them. And I do kind of like to say I am a one woman,
You are a
show
one woman
because
show.
my photography business is the same thing. I'm the only person that does all of it. And for this, like I don't have a team. So,
No,
we do have people that help us obviously upload and get things,
right.
going online. But yeah, I am a one woman show. So we just make it work. If we had a full team, like
Imagine that.
imagine.
So Wondery, if you're listening and want
Yeah.
to and want to
We
produce
love
this with
Wondery.
us, I
Yes.
love.
We
Well,
love
Dying for
Wondery.
Sex, which of course we had Nikki Boyer, which
Well, yeah,
again,
of course,
Lee's
one of my favorite.
idea because Leigh worked with Nikki and I got to meet Nikki because Leigh worked with Nikki because
Yeah.
we've been
Well,
friends.
we had a long,
We had a
very long
long.
history with Nikki, but the reason that we brought Nikki on the show is because you and I both loved Dying for Sex. And then when we
Yes.
realized it was Nikki, it was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, we know Nikki.
We know
Um,
Nikki. And
yeah, we know Nikki. So we
yeah.
go way back and from the early, Banyan Philly days, it was really cool to kind of bring her back onto
That
the
was so
show and
fun.
reconnect you with her. Because if you
Yeah.
remember at that time, I also tried to get you on the show
Yeah.
that we
No,
were
I
working
know.
on in Banyan.
Yeah, I did.
So our
I
careers have kind of
auditioned.
always intertwined,
Always. Yeah.
you know.
And that I still laugh about how my camera shut out during that recording.
Yes, of course. Again, see, we just kind of roll with it. There's always something.
I don't
There's
know if that
always
ever
something.
made it to the final cut though.
I
Did
think
it?
that it did.
I hope so, because that
Yeah.
was hysterical.
I think that it did.
And I
I
like
think
to
that it did.
model that like we're flawed. Like I think the fact that we're one man, like I was
I
just
think that's
signing documents and like I don't right like literally as you texted me saying we have to go, I was like signing my life away because they're
great.
in the middle of all these jobs and sessions and yeah.
Well,
So
we had a very busy schedule today, so we were trying to cram this in. I knew that it was going to be, a little bit chaotic with your schedule, but that's what it is. And we are this is how we roll. So I feel like for people listening at home, it's
yeah.
okay. We're perfectly normal. This is normal life. It's just that you and I are both really busy and we're on different time zones and
Ugh.
it could be
Wait.
challenging.
Let
Yeah.
let people know how the time zone works with us.
Well, I mean, it's hard. Obviously, it's I'm in California and you're not. So
Yeah, I'm
So
on
even
Eastern.
just talking on the phone, you were finally coming up for air last night. You're like, I'm ready to talk. You're texting me rapid fire, and I'm at my son's football game. So
Well,
it's
that's the
like,
best place to do it anyway, though.
yeah,
I mean, because well, unless you have any white wine in the Yeti, is that like
no, I'm not one of those moms. I know a lot of those moms, but I could not function if I was one of those moms.
you can function? Yeah,
I have too many. I have.
you have too many jobs, and you stay very focused on your well being. She's up early for her morning run with her
Oh yeah,
like
this morning we did a
girlfriends.
Halloween run. Shout out to my girls. We semi dressed up for Halloween, but I said we're scary enough, just as like scary moms
At 5 in the
running in the
morning
dark.
running.
It's
Yeah,
like no makeup, hats on, hair's a mess. We're
yeah.
scary enough,
I
but
I don't think it's that scary, but
yeah.
yeah, it's yeah.
I
Well, I was
try. You have taught me a lot over the years to really try to take a step back and just like calm my
yeah,
brain and,
yeah,
try to focus on myself. Of course, we're all really busy, so that's not always the easiest thing, but that's what I love about your show is that it's like a constant theme is that we're
yeah.
always making sure people are really doing their best to take care of themselves.
And I love that you find people for that because it really like we just had Shireen on Dr. Rizvi and we've recorded, and so that'll be
She's
airing.
fantastic.
And it
Yeah.
was so radical acceptance. It's like whatever you're
Mhm.
dealing with, you will be suffering. And so we're sort of modeling that. That was what we were texting about last night of like, let's model that these 51 episodes has been suffering.
Maybe for you, it's not been suffering for me. I've actually loved every bit of it, but
No,
it
that
is
can't
a
be
lot.
true. That's baloney. You can't
No, it's not.
you've not loved every bit of it.
Because if I didn't, honestly, I'm too busy to still do it, to
The
be
times that
fully
like you're
honest.
telling me you love when you and I are like 11 o'clock. What time's it? Like we're like forgetting which time we're
Well, yes, because that's why we have Apple iPhones and we go to the world clock and we just figure it out. What time is it in Australia? We are going to figure it out. But if I didn't love it and if I didn't love you as much as I do, I, to be honest, wouldn't do it because I do have other full time jobs and it is a lot. It's a lot to take on. But
it's a
I
lot.
do love this podcast and I believe in this podcast, which is why I will always be your number one cheerleader
Oh my
because I
God.
do feel like you're serving a purpose and there is a mission behind it. Whether or not we see it on those late nights and those, crazy calls and text messages, I do believe that there is a greater purpose here.
It was really cool to have Leon. I think I want to do that again, just so you guys get to see sort of behind the scenes of what it takes to do this or not do this. But as always, thanks to Leigh Castelli in her production and photography and just the artistic mind that she brings, to this show On Air with Dr. Pete. There are teams of people in other podcasts, and we are both just one people shows. So appreciate you tuning in. We need you to kind of keep it up there, give us ideas of topics, and keep like, follow, and share and all the things at Official Dr. Pete. And thanks for tuning in to that episode. Please tune in next week. But until then, spread a little kindness and stay well.